गुड मॉर्निंग एंड वेलकम टू गना शॉट। गना शॉट में आप सबका स्वागत है। What are US troops doing in Bangladesh? That's a $1 million question which everyone is asking. And is there a rare earth war going to erupt in this area? So that's the that's what we're going to discuss today. Look at this picture carefully, right? Look at this picture carefully. It tells you a story. This is what the chief of the Bangladesh army shaking hands with the deputy commander of the Pacific Forces, U.S. Army Pacific Forces from the PACOM, and this happened a couple of months back. Let's go back into the history of Bangladesh, recent history, the coup history. Well, August, right, last year, the coup happened, and then why did they come? They looked at let's get into a map. We'll see how it is. See, look at this map. The coup happened. Then everyone spoke of the St. Martin's Island. Why is St. Martin's Island near Teknaf? It's somewhere here where my pointer is pointing. And from here, it is a direct, threat to China. Plus, you had to start controlling Myanmar, and of course, moment you put troops there, you start controlling uh, India. Influence. I wouldn't say control, influence. Right. So all this were in the air at that time. And that is how the thing evolved. A lot of issues went in. Then they spoke of that humanitarian corridor, where the Bangladesh chief of army staff said, no bloody humanitarian corridor. He said this publicly. But yet he's shaking hands with them. But what happened in between? The Bangladesh army chief and one of his brigadiers went to Qatar, had a deal with the Central Command chap. I mean, just think, they had a deal with the Central Command chap. Then one of their officers went also to Pakistan. And so Bangladesh is doing its trick however it wants. Now they're in deal with the PACOM guys of US, and he's in some manner there is some tacit understanding between. Let's be very clear. There's some tacit understanding between Bangladesh army and US army. They've come to some deal. What's the contours of this deal is something which we will decipher. Why the deal is, we'll decipher. I'll give you my viewpoint, right? That's the thing. Because the rare earths are connected with it. Let's not have any doubts about it. Okay. Now, in this couple of months back, we heard some people came to, landed up in Chattogram, that is Chittagong, for those of you who don't know. And then they were loafing around Cox's Bazaar and all that. And now, suddenly you find some troops landing in the same place. So let's see what this is what the Economic Times reported yesterday or day before. US moves in Bangladesh set off alarms in neighbors India and Myanmar. Well, he's looked at it his way. There are no alarm bells in India, let's be very clear, nor in Myanmar. You should be very clear about this. There are no alarm bells here. I mean, this is along expected lines. If 1 year back you unseated a government who was not prepared to listen to you, and 1 year later you appear there with your military, it's not a thing. But so far, what has come there? That's the thing. In September, there's a C-130J Super Hercules which has landed in Chittagong. There's been exercises going on. There was an exercise earlier. Now there's another thing called Pacific Angel, right? And then something called Tiger Lightning. All that is doing. So another is being planned. Of course, this is what the Economic Times reports. What the picture is: U.S. military footprint in Bangladesh. It's there. But let's put it. I think the US are no more interested in St. Martin's Island. I think they've set foot in Chittagong and in the Cox's Bazar area. Um, just to give you an idea, where is Chittagong? This is Chittagong. Okay, make the little bigger. Yeah, this is Chittagong, and yeah, let me make it even bigger. Yeah, this is Chittagong, Chattogram, and this is Cox Bazar. They're carrying out their exercises here, and Teknaf and south of Teknaf, the St. Martin's Island. So all this is happening in this corner. Already, I'm sure people are operating inside and all that. I have no doubt in Myanmar. So this is the story which is developing. It's now for sure that uh, let, let me put it. It's going to be for sure that these chaps are going to operate out of that place. Right? Why should they go into St. Martin's Island when they have a beautiful airport at Chittagong and there's a port also at Chittagong? Why would they go elsewhere? That's the way I look at it. And from there, they can affect India, they can affect Bangladesh, they can affect China, they can affect Thailand, that belt also, and Myanmar, of course. So this is for granted. Now, but what has happened now? There's just about 100 odd troops. They're going to do some exercise with another 100 Bangladeshis. It's got no value. That has got no value at all. What they'll do, they'll go through some tea gardens there in that area. That's what the pictures have come out. And they'll do some insipid exercises and finish off. Got no relevance, but the relevance is beyond. That's the way I see it. There's a long-term relevance of these chaps establishing a foothold permanently here, and we'll keep hearing this often. Slowly over the past 1 year, things have come up, and now at the apex level of the military, there's some exchange taking place. Uh, and so there's a long-term plan. The long-term plan is, of course, if you can put military force in Bangladesh, then you are in striking range of China. If China is your target, even if China is not your target and India is your target, it doesn't matter because India can handle this. That's the way I look at it. India can handle this. It's China who can't handle this. That's the thing. And if India allows U.S. presence, or rather India normalizes U.S. presence, then China has a lot to worry. And maybe this reset with US is part of this deal. I'm giving you the larger picture right now. Going to get into rare earths. So this is the larger picture. Why would USA do all this nonsense? Why should they come? Okay, even if they bomb this corner of China, how does it affect China? How does it affect them? Okay. What is the immediate effect? What is the critical effect? What is the economic effect? That is the thing which we have to see. And I always say, look, for any military move, there has to be a political angle or an economic angle. If these two are not there, then that whole story has got no value. So let's jump into that. And that, to my mind, is all about rare earths. And this is a map which I picked up from New York Times. I mean, I have my own maps. It's not a big deal. If you remember, I did a series of podcasts on rare earths in China, rare earths in India, and the rare earth. But I picked this up from New York Times, and this article and this map came out a month back. Till then, the American media has been quiet about it. Okay, so what does this map say? These blue dots are the places where there are rare earths. And where are these rare earths? They are in Kachin state. Maximum is in Kachin state. I'll come to that. Okay, not in Shan, it's in Kachin. And you look at Kachin, look at this map, and you from a little distance, and get the overview. This is Kachin. Kachin is between India and China. This is Sagaing. This is Shan. So Kachin is actually sandwiched between India and China, and the roads go through that. I'll come to that a little later. Okay, so and these blue this where these two areas of rare earths are not very significant. The significant thing is this. He says, no, there are more than 300 rare earth mines cluttered near the border between Myanmar and China. They're all in Myanmar. They're not in China. Now, there's an interesting thing, so let's let's understand and refresh ourselves. What about this rare earth businesses? See, rare earths are these. Okay, these are the rare earths which I've highlighted. Okay. No, rare earths are not rare. That's the best part of the story. I'm reiterating, restarting, so that you understand rare earths. Rare earths, incidentally, in the world, in on the Earth's crust, is more than even copper and gold. That's the beauty. Presence is more than copper and gold. But why is it called rare earth? It's called rare earth because the concentration is rare. In most places, in you find copper, gold, many of these in concentrated form, tin, manganese in concentrated form. But rare earths, you don't find them in concentrated form. They're in such dissipated form that it is very difficult to extract it in viable quantities and mine it. There are no mines you'll get. It's only in one odd place that you find rare earth in some quantity which you can extract. These are group 6, largely group 6 and group 3, lanthanides. They're called lanthanides. Okay. They are high density, high melting point, high conductivity, high thermal conductance. Very important in magnets, very important in EVs, very important in your wind turbines. They're very important in space applications, very important in nuclear applications. Okay, okay. Now these are the elements. There are light rare earth elements and heavy rare earth elements. Right? These are the thing. And what is in this thing? Like what I've written here, rare earths are not rare. They're dispersed and hard to extract and concentrated, economically viable deposits. And cerium is a light rare earth element. Is the most abundant REE, and it is the most it is more common than copper or lead. That's the thing. Most rare earths are more abundant than silver, gold, or platinum, which I said earlier. They concentrated and economically mineable deposits of REEs are unusual. Incidentally, India has a lot of rare earths. We have a lot of rare earths. But our thing is mostly light rare earths. But within that, why we have one important thing which is in abundance, that is called samarium. Okay, what people need is this. They need heavy rare earths, right? What is the most important in this? Terbium, dysprosium. These are the ones which are most important. Aluminium, these are the ones which are most important. And of course, you need neodymium also. Of course, now let me divert, go in a little tangent, talk about India and get back. India has abundant. It's one of the biggest, highest availability of rare earths, and that rare earths are available in India along with thorium, as part of the thorium concentrates which we have in the sands. There are places, and we've been extracting rare earths for our uses, basically for our atomic energy purposes and space research purposes. We have a PSU called Indian Rare Earths Limited, which is under the Space Department of Space, and we are doing extraction. I've done a program on it. If you go Rare Earths India, you put Rare Earths India in Ghana short, and you'll get the whole details. I'm not going to get into that. But all are, like I said, are light rare earths, except samarium, which we have, which is important. So we have the fundamentals. What we don't have is technology. And that technology we are now trying. After all, there is a rare earth park we put up in Bhopal, right? And there's an extraction plant we put in Vizag. There's one Japanese firm called Toyostu or something like that, which has come up in Vizag. And a lot of collaboration going on and all that. That is one part of the story. That's the internal part. But we are very low in the value chain. High in the value chain are China. China controls 90% technology and thing. Now the interesting part is here onwards. This is a rare earth mine in. Give you an idea in Myanmar. If you see here, this is the place where rare earth is got out. It's leached out of the mountainside and brought into tanks. What they do is they put pipes into the mountain and they put oxalic acid into that. Okay. Now, and then they flush it with water. But the water and oxalic acid, it goes, seeps through the ground and it comes out through pipes in a concentrated form and then goes into tanks. In tanks that is leached and washed and all that, and then made into ore and sent to China. Okay. Now, this is the fun part. Myanmar's share of global rare earth production surged from 0.2% to 14%. When did it happen? Very recently. I'll come to it. Okay. It is the largest producer of terbium and dysprosium. Now, these are the ones which are heavy rare earths. Okay. These are the ones which are heavy rare earths. Where are they located? It is here in a place called Chipwe. It's not only in Chipwe, it is here in this border, as I can show you. And here in Momok, Momok has very little. Momok is in the border between Shan and Kachin, and Chipwe is bang in Kachin. That's the place. And so far, what all has been done, this mining has been done near the border. Why? Illegal. This Kachin Independence Army has taken control of the mines. For the past 2 years, they have been filching it out and smuggling it out to China. And China has been taking it because they have the capability to further refine and the mines and the ore. Illegal, completely illegal. Okay. Yeah. 2019 to 24. Myanmar has been China's primary rare earth supplier. It is still so. It is still so. Now, here comes the interesting part. If you see, this is the level at which rare earths from Myanmar were being taken to China. Now, in 22, there were some issues and the border got closed, and the rare earths going from Myanmar to China stopped, or rather reduced. It didn't stop, it reduced. Now, when did the civil war start in Myanmar? Forget about the junta taking over the whole thing. When did the civil war start in Myanmar? It started in October 23, Three Brotherhood Alliance. Because the Myanmar junta was, or the military junta was squeezing on China. So China instigates this Three Brotherhood Alliance and there's a civil war. Regime change. So you think regime change is only what USA does? Forget it. China is fully complicit in it. So they put Myanmar in a civil war situation, and they bribed all this KIA and Three Brotherhood Alliance. That is KIA and what's that? Arakan Army and one more, or something for democracy or something like that. So this story starts. And then suddenly you see this in 23, 24, there's a shoot up. And 24 January, Xi Jinping announces new productive forces, EVs, everything. It's all connected. Because China doesn't have heavy rare earths. I mean, they're done. There's nothing much left. It's all in Myanmar. So they instigate this civil war. Okay. So this whole story is happening. And now I feel they probably have instigated the unrest in Manipur also. They must have bought off that chief minister or something like that to do some nonsense, or they would have made use of the political unrest in Manipur. We were all looking this side, kuch aur ho raha tha udhar. See, this is what I say. Don't look at things from just there are wheels within wheels in this entire area. If you go to the northeast, you'll see more layers of the story. So this is it. So suddenly, it is not as if USA didn't know about it. Maybe we were dumb about it. USA knew, and that is why this coup, shoe, and all that starts in 24. Geopolitics. This is a aerial view of one of those, mines. And this is the leaching tanks which they have. And this is the end product. After you extract rare earths from a particular area, this is how it looks like. So this is ecologically very damaging, this whole story. Okay, so now let's look back in this. So where are Chinese? Where did the US troops landed? They landed up in Chittagong. And this is Cox's Bazar. They're doing here. Now this exercise and all. But they've already been here for 3 months. I'm sure they've gone in. They're already there. Does this thing end? This is the situational thing. No. Now here I'm going to go another turn and another story. Go to CSIS. You'll see this story. The dangerous allure of Myanmar's rare earths. There's a big story where all rare earths can be found. Same thing. You will get Chippi, Momok, and all this. But beyond Chippi and Momok, we don't know where it is. You see, sometime back, about 2 months back, there was this news report that in Karbi Anglong, right? Karbi Anglong. Where is Karbi Anglong? It's not in USA or Mexico. Karbi Anglong is in Assam. For those of you who don't know, okay. When many of us don't know where Karbi Anglong is. Karbi Anglong is district in Assam. There East Karbi Anglong and West Karbi Anglong. West Karbi Anglong is near, it abuts this thing, Meghalaya. And East Karbi Anglong is the other side. Okay. Now, East Karbi Anglong, it abuts Nagaon. Now, you will ask me where Nagaon is. So, there were some traces of this. There was some search and some reports came out that rare earths are there and all. I don't know where it is. Why Karbi Anglong, that area they would have found? Because geographically that belt, Karbi Anglong, Nagaland, and this belt are all geomorphologically the same. Okay, maybe there is something there, but that is later day story. But here it is. Besides this border area, is there something else in the depth inside Kachin state? We don't know. Okay. Now the Myanmar rebels have caught on to it. And I mean, the Janta knew, the Myanmar rebels knew, everyone locally knows what's there. They found that China was, extracting and knocking off at a cheap price. So the rebels are smart. They have started disrupting. And probably around this time, they've already started talking with others. And others are talking, let's be very clear, okay, to these fellows. And then Stimson comes out with this report, 4 reasons why proposals to source rare earth minerals from Myanmar will not succeed. Many reasons they're given. No, you can't take it from there, you can't mine it, it's logistic. Yeah, whoa. But in the end, they come out. It says all this is feasible if India is on board. If India is on board, everything is feasible. If India is not on board, nothing is feasible. Okay, so that's the or ace. And if India is not on board or India takes an anti stance, nothing is feasible also. So, there are layers in this whole story, and these are the levers which India has. Now, Forbes comes out with this headline: Trump is inching towards a major strategic blunder in Myanmar. So, what does this tell you? It tells you that they are already going in. So, now you connect. We'll come to the map a little later. There's this Reuters thing comes out. India explores rare earth deal with Myanmar rebels after Chinese curbs because the KIA, Kachin Independent Army, and the Janta. Remember, the Janta chief met our Prime Minister in SEO meet. You think they have not been spoken about? The KIA chaps also came and said, "Why don't you come and do mining? Why are you screwing us through China?" So one guy from IREL went, as per reports. This is not one report. This is one report from Reuters, but there are more. And the rebels there are okay with our getting in. And we have to work out. Because like I said, the logistics of all this can be done only through India. Otherwise, nothing can happen. So if you think this is only, my imagination, Australia is also in this game. So as China expands resource control in Myanmar, Australia-India collaboration matters. We're in the game. Okay. Uh, Australia says, look, I have the technology. They have the technology because there are mines in Australia where you can get rare earths, but very little. Because here, this is one of the richest concentrates. And people have not seen how big. The Chinese also have not come in to see where other places you can get rare earths in Kachin state. It's only in the border areas they have, come up with this. But where else? And there are ecological issues. Already, people in that area are rebelling against what is happening because it has poisoned rivers there. And this water goes into Mekong, incidentally. And Mekong means you're looking at now Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, all these getting poisoned because this oxalic acid is basically poison. Okay, once you do the leaching and the waste goes, it's poison, and there are traces found down south. If traces of this are found down south in one river, which goes through Thailand and it joins up in Cambodia, then there are a lot of problems for rice, all that. So there are other issues also in this. This is all rolled. At this point of time, the culprit is China. But when all of us get in, will we be the culprits or will we be the saviors? I don't know. I suppose something will have to come out, but it's happening. Acha, you think what I'm saying is right? Believe the Chinese. The Chinese are also reporting this. Chinese also reporting this. This is from Guancha 1 month back. They've said, look, India is in the game. They know it. So why do you think China is behaving? Why do you think China is behaving? I'll come to it. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I have to get the map back. Huh? Yeah. Why do you think China is behaving? China is worried. Go to this map. This is Kachin state. Where did you do this thing on the Naga rebels 2 months back or 3 months back? We spoke about it in this area. How far is this? Just about a couple of 100 kilometers. So if you extend your operations militarily, you're sitting there. And if Kachin Independence Army and we are on good wicket, and we are on good wicket with all these fellows, we are on good wicket with this Arakan army and this Three Brotherhood, ye, wo, and they also know that they're getting exploited by China and they want to get out of Chinese grip. One thing the Janta and the locals in that area are very clear about. They don't want to be in the clutches of China. So they say, India, come. India doesn't want to go for many reasons. That's a different story. Okay. Now, US is there. Australians are interested. So there's a new game developing out here. Please understand this. This is what I thought I'll tell you. You have agency here. You have agency here because you have people to people connect, especially in Sagaing. These Nagas, Mizos, and the Kukis have people the other side. Okay. All this nonsense about Christianity, Christian state, and all is imagination. Let's be very clear about it. This is all stupid way of thinking. It is a narrow way of thinking. The basic thing is this. So, is there a case for us to cooperate with Australia and USA and get, or logically, I mean, legally, make way, because you have the logistics capability here. No one else has the logistics capability. Look at this map. From Midkina or Michina, this is Michina, and from all this is here. This red dot is the place of Chipwi, or whether the mines are. Okay, they could be here also. We don't know. And the road goes from here. It goes, from Michina. The Michina is the local, focal point or the communication center. From there, roads go up to Nagaland, go into Arunachal, Tirap, Changlang districts. Tirap, Changlang are here. Where, Arunachal comes like this and comes till here. Okay. It goes to Tirap, Changlang. So is there a case for us to cooperate with them? And instead of saying, oh, US troops shouldn't be there, yeah, well, you still have a strategic partnership. You have your norms, go in, get the ore out, refine it there, make thing, and do it properly. When you do it legally. You do get into a thing. Is there a case for India to start talking to Myanmar and the rebels and getting on to one page? Look, it's all about money sharing there. Huh? It's all about loot and money sharing. If you think the Myanmar army is here or there for democracy and all, let's be clear, they're making money. If you think this independence armies there are there to get independence, they can't get independence. For the past 3 years, there's a civil war going on. That civil war has come to a full stop. They'll only keep bombing each other, but they've come to uneasy alliance. I said this then only, where everyone is making money, exploiting each other in that area. Look, that's the law there. If you are sitting on a high horse and talking of democracy, you'll keep sitting on that horse, and that horse will go ulta. And a lot of people in America are talking that language. Oh, we don't want to talk with the junta. But junta is your best bet today. I've interacted with people in the junta, incidentally, officially. And where? In places like IIT. They come. Incidentally, half the Myanmarese army is trained by Russia in their engineering colleges. So we shouldn't live in a fool's paradise. We should start talking. And we have the best credentials to talk to everyone. And I suppose people will talk. Instead of saying, oh, why is the US there and all that, start dealing with the situation. So that's my take on all this story. I hope you like this. I've shortened it. I've not gone, the full hog on this. It's a small thing. I'll take some questions. If you like this, press the like button, subscribe to Ghana Shot, and of course, join me as members. Like I said, the subscriptions have gone down, the membership has also gone down. So that's it. Yeah. And this will also help us get the Bangladeshis on board. Get the Bangladeshis on board. It'll lot of things can happen. You should know where the center of gravity is. The center of gravity is not in Bangladesh. The center of gravity is not in India and Manipur. The center of gravity is in Chipwi, Myanmar, rare earths. Instead of getting stuck, instead of saying, "Oh, China is holding our tail by not giving us rare earths," make your own rare earths. You have the capability. Go up the value chain. So that is the story, and I will now take questions. Thank you. Yeah, first and foremost, morning, sir. How are you? Brigadier Vinayak Ramnarayan, very well explained. Our interest should be paramount. We need to share benefits with stakeholders. I completely agree with you. I mean, we are on the same page, right? Sir, looking at the picture of US and Bangladesh army, did you change your adult diaper? Also, sir, please send batch of this bloody asshole, right? He thinks he's become one and great with the US army and this thing. All right. So बेवकूफ है ना, बेवकूफी रह गया. ये बांग्लादेशी है, बांग्लादेशी का सोच भी उतना ही है. The Bangladeshis, सोच of this variety are absolutely, as small as a rat's asshole. This fellow is also of that variety. Okay. Yeah, this is an opportunity to get strategic thing. I agree with you completely. Yeah, thoroughly enjoyed your talk. Sometimes it's better to get silent and get an education. Thanks a lot. Yeah, can you please elaborate on why India is not interested in moving closely with Myanmar groups? Any effect on internal I don't know. You need to be real politic here. My way of dealing with this, I've spent 3 years, 4 years in that area. Okay, I mean hardcore in that area, but in Northeast, I've spent half a lifetime. I mean, I've gone up to Kibitu and Arunachal in the north, and I've been to Tawang and I've been to Bumla and all those places. Plus, in this belt, I've been to the southernmost areas. I was a station commander as well. Okay, that is Mizoram and Tripura. I mean, I know that area well. Look, what do you think in Delhi? What do you think in here in this part of India? Is completely different from a reality there. There, the reality is completely different. You have to handle the reality as it is there. All this idiotic thinking here. Oh, this is like Hindu Christian thing. These are no Hindu Christian bread nonsense here. Between cookies and Manipuris. This is all loot, paisa, drugs. You see, there's another driver here of the local economy. One is rare earths. The other is drugs. Drugs is a bigger economy. Rare earths are critical. Understand this. But drugs are loot, paisa. The biggest concentration of drugs, both natural and artificial, are here in this golden triangle. वो तो मैंने बात ही नहीं किया. That's why I said I've not opened out other layers in this area. And the third layer is arms. There is also arms market. Who is the supplier of arms? China. So I said, I don't know. I don't know why we are not handling the situation completely differently. If Myanmar is intelligent, they can do a lucrative deal with Trump. Yeah, they can. I mean, not Trump. Trump alone can't do anything there. Let's be very clear. Again, this is something which you guys have to understand. See, Trump alone can't because if you go through from Chattogram and Cox's Bazar and go to this here, logistically it is not feasible to get the ore out. It's here in that area of Sipsagar, Lohit, that area. To go there. The routes are there. Sutrap Changlang. Yeah, rare earths are required for everything. Yeah, there's no doubt. Why are rare earth materials so precious for USA and the rest of the world, and why now? I told you, I showed you. Till 24, things were under control. Suddenly, this rare, the new productive forces of Xi Jinping, these new productive forces of Xi Jinping started with exploitation of Myanmar illegally. Okay. Now he's holding everyone to ransom, so you'll get them off. And there are reports which say that look, this is part of a plan. And China also knows it, that their grip on their hold on rare earths will last another half a decade. After that, it's over. Yeah, Americans need to think and not unexist later. Existence is just regret. Yeah, I agree with you. Hmm. Okay, let me take some questions, which have come up. Serious, Ramki Ramkrishnan. Yeah, I hope I've answered all your questions which you put it. Yeah, you said good morning, sir, hot topic and all. I hope I've given you all the logic. Uh, Ladybird Haru, good morning. Vivek Berry, Sairam, Mrs. Claire's. Yeah, thanks a lot for joining in once again. Rohan, good morning. Maga rebel, nothing new from Mir Jafar to Hussein Sohrawadi to in the 1950s. Yeah, ठीक है ये तुम बात करते रहो. Yeah, good morning and Jai Hind. Hans Jo, good morning. Right. Wakar is a distant relative of Mrs. Hasina and seen as a patriot. Has he been forced to compromise with US in order to save his chair? Surely he also agrees that white man. Yes, yes, you're talking English, Shritik. Let's get to hard realities. The hard reality is this: if Hasina was persuaded not to be antagonistic to USA, and if USA was not antagonistic to Hasina, and if this is all if Auntie had balls wali kahani hai ye. If the Jamaat were not active through this Yunus, yeah, all this situation could have been saved. I feel this is our failure. We should have handled this whole story better. And at that time, I can assure you, none in our establishment understood the larger game. How did Tatmadaw figure into all this? It's without Tatmadaw, you can do nothing. You have to get a deal between. This is all about the deal. This is where I go by Trump dealing. Get Tatmadaw, get Kachin Independence Army, get the Three Brotherhood Alliance. This getting them on one board, India can do. Getting them into a deal with USA, Australia, and all that, give them a fair deal and get it out. And that's where you can cut out China. And India is central to this whole story. And you do get your technology, you get your share of everything. See, then you start controlling the pipelines, no? The tap you control. This is a golden opportunity. You have to think big, yeah. नहीं नहीं हम नहीं नहीं बैठेंगे हम वो क्या बोलते हो हम जय श्री राम ही बोलते रहेंगे ऑल दिस जय श्री राम एक्टिविस्ट हु आर देयर नो हम अपने आप बन जाएंगे ओ नो वन कैन बीट इंडिया ऐसे थोड़ी ना बात चलता है ऐसे थोड़ी ना बात चलता है नो 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 वी डोंट वांट यूएसए यू कांट ट्रस्ट देम आई नो इट बट यू नीड देम हियर you have to in international politics you have to do what is good for your country and you have to make linkages accordingly. The moment you start doing this, China will start behaving. You have to get into the rough and tumble. If you are a big power, you can't be a big power by sitting on your side of the border. You have to go out. And then you do all this externally, then you save Manipur also. Manipur also will fall in line. हम तो ये वोट बैंक चोरी करते रहते हैं वोट बैंक पॉलिटिक्स करते रहते हैं यार and on this I have no doubt in my mind in this whole story both this BJP and Congress both are culpable. I'm saying culpable and I have said this is now way strategic thinking तो इसमें zero था. Now I see some people. The fact that we have sent this IRL rep there and he's spoken and all that, which is okay. Let's see how where it goes. Uh, Sir, our troops have also landed in. Yeah, where have you landed in Burma? You did a raid and came back. That's it. SH. Is this because US doesn't want China to build naval base in Bangladesh? All this is there. All these are part of the story. It's not one thing. Yeah, your videos are always insightful and thank you. Thanks a lot. Get others on the loop here. Get all your friends to understand what's going on. It's just not talking in the air. Can you make a video on the new Pak Saudi military alliance? Yeah, but there's nothing in it. What is there? What is so special about this alliance? Let me know. Kill it here only. There's nothing special about this alliance. They already had an alliance long back. Where is Rahil Sharif, who was their chief? He's the chief military advisor to the government of Saudi. He's organized their army. Not now, 8 years back. So what does this military alliance talk of? Nothing. Please understand what, and the same Saudi chaps have come and said we will have a strategic partnership with India. Don't get carried away by this nonsense which is going on. It's not even worth discussing beyond what I've done this. That's it. This is it. This is the end of story as far as Pak Saudi military alliance is concerned. Do you think Pakistan will go and fight for Saudis? Do you think Pakistan has got capability to do so? If Pakistan had the capability to do all this nonsense, the Saudi Aramco and the Burbaik, Abu Baik, yeah, Abu Baik, and the Abu Baik oil refinery shouldn't have been bombed by Houthis. Where were these buffoons there? These guys went and advised Saudis to deploy their air defense assets and got it. Well, you shouldn't get unnecessarily swayed by all this nonsense which is happening. Pakistan will talk about it because it's in their interest to talk about it. Yeah, General is getting down to real facts after so much hot air on other channels is bringing. भाई हम तो ऐसे बात करते हैं, हम तो ट्रूथ बात करते हैं और हम असली आई गेट बैक आई सी ओके नाउ let me brag a bit. I must also brag, no? Others brag, others talk nonsense and brag. I'll tell you the truth and brag. I've always had this habit of getting to the core, and talking absolutely without any, mirch masala. And many people don't like me for it. I get to the core and tell this is your interest, this is your interest, this is your interest. Now let's get down to business. This is business. We have to do business. And in business, there's no morality. There's only one thing: interest, national interest, India's interest. And I'll talk only India's interest. Look at this. I always said behind me, the Sengol and what's this? Ashoka pillar. And what is this? This is a symbol of Assam. I'll tell you next time what it is. Keep guessing till then. Yeah. So I have done. Yeah. General has connected all dots till now. Many nationalist channels are putting out conspiracies. Yeah, I agree with you. We have to be very clear what we are doing. Yeah. Are the REMs more precious than hydrocarbons and gold, and are they consumables? No, they don't have a shelf life, nothing. Right? They're hard metal, yeah. Arunachal, they're material. They're metal. You add samarium to steel and you use it for rocket applications. The best quality of steel, lightest quality of steel you'll get with samarium. Same thing, you add dysprosium to steel and make magnets out of it. The magnetic effect is hell of a lot, and you need that in your generators to all your Mac shacks, no iMac, AO Macs, and latest computers need to have a lot of rare earth thing. Even for your semiconductors, you need rare earths. used to be that iron fist of US capitalism was tightly wrapped in the hypocrisy of humanitarian aid is Trump era. Yeah, yeah. There's no forget about humanitarian. Look, in this we should be very clear. There's no humanitarian aid, all that. As a responsible nation, what should India do? India should ensure that you get access to this rare earths through Myanmar. Help the Myanmaris. I'm not saying don't have principles. Must have principles. Help the Myanmaris. Help the locals. Get Myanmar to be peaceful. Don't spoil the ecology. Do it legally. Use technology. Ensure that the right technology used so that there is no ecological damage there and there's no widespread problems. And get that out properly for good. I'm not asking you to go do what China does, and then China will get come to track with you. This is the way to do, and then automatically, then you can start focusing on the drugs out there and all. But you have to get in. But you can't do anything sitting on your side of the border except get hit. Yeah, thanks for the wonderful morning session. Thanks a lot. Yeah, I hope we are thinking about long-term interest in the region. Is unified and stable Myanmar a good thing? It is. And I've interacted with the Myanmaris. They want to be with us. And interestingly, this is the interesting part. You know who's the biggest backer of Myanmar junta today? Russia. The biggest equity you get in Myanmar is India plus Russia, not China, USA. So to stabilize Myanmar and to get your interest, you need USSR or other Russia, not USSR, Russia. And technology is from this thing. You can get tech, or you can do one more thing. I mean, this is another option we have. Sideline USA completely. Get on board with Russia. Russia, India, Myanmar. You can do it. That's the next thing. So you have this thing for both. Okay. So let's see how it goes. I just thought I'll put across all this to you. So once again, if you like today's show, press the like button. Get your friends to see this. This is an interesting video I put out. Okay. I know that. I've been delaying it for a long time. And also subscribe to Gunner Shot. And right. And those from Bangladesh, let me tell you, you guys have no value for us. वो अपना better रहो or keep doing your own coups and poos and all that and do whatever you want to do. Don't think, you guys are great. As far as I'm concerned, you chaps are useless. This is my experience. We know that you don't like us. Please understand, we also don't like you. This is my thing for all Bangladeshis who are listening. Right, with this, thanks a lot. And, you have to do something else for us to change your thing, because when the upheaval took place in Bangladesh, we came out with a hand of friendship to you. I was the guy who told everyone friendship with Bangladesh. You guys spurned it. You're also on the same footing. You're going back to East Pakistan days. And if you want to go back to East Pakistan days, we'll treat you like East Pakistanis again. Thank you and have a great day. And Jai Hind to everyone.